All right, so we've been hearing a lot about Trump supporters need to be reprogrammed, right? And I don't really understand people who are, pushing this. Especially, it appears to be being pushed by some people in the media, which doesn't make sense, doesn't add up as to why anybody who's in the media would, be believing or pushing a narrative onto people that that's the solution, is that we need to reprogram Trump supporters. Because, guys, the flaw in that is it's not that Trump prepared the meal, Trump set the table, and then his supporters feasted. No, Trump didn't prepare the meal, set the table, right? It's that the table was already set, the meal was already prepared, and then Trump feasted. And what I mean by that, guys, is that the narrative that so many people in this country bought into was well established. It was already fed into them for years and years and years before Trump ever came along. You see, what Trump didn't create Breitbart News and Steve Bannon. What Trump did was understand, by learning from Steve Bannon and Breitbart News, where people in this country were at. You know what I mean? Where a lot of those people that became these radicalized Trump supporters, they were already radicalized, right? So Trump was not what created them. He didn't radicalize those people. He was the vessel. He was the symbol, right, of what they had already bought into. Guys, Fox News's highest ratings were during the Obama years. The reason why Fox News's ratings were the highest during Obama years is because in those 8 years, they were taken to the airwaves and they were selling people and pushing this narrative on people, the good versus evil plot of Star Wars, right? Battle for the soul of the country. Tune in every night so we can educate you, inform you, and expose, right, the evil left. Guys, Trump was not responsible for radicalizing anybody out there. But what got them to a point where they did believe that they were going to soon be a communist nation, that Chinese soldiers were going to be showing up at their door to take their guns and force their daughter to have an abortion? It wasn't Trump. They had bought into that narrative long before Trump. Trump just understood the amount of people, how many people in this country had bought into that narrative, that were fully invested, that tuned in, guys, to Alex Jones and believed that what they were doing was getting the truth and the reality of this country and what was going on in this country and in the world. They were tuning in to Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Bill O'Reilly, believing that they were being educated as to what was happening in this country and the evil plot that was in place to destroy and steal this country, that everything they loved about America was at risk. It was narrative, it was storytelling, it was divisive, but guys, it led to ratings. It led to clicks, it led to views. So they spent all those years pushing that on their listener base, radicalizing, so to say, people to believe you're the patriotic prince who needs to rescue Princess America. But in order to do that, you need to slay the evil Democrat dragon. That's what they bought into. Trump saw that, Trump understood that, and Trump knew that he could benefit from that. And sure enough, he did. But so now the solution is not, we have to reprogram Trump supporters. We have to get people to see the truth and the reality of why the narrative pushers that they tune into are doing what they're doing, that it's for profit, it's for their benefit. We have to start educating people on that. That's what's going to help get us back to some normalcy in this country. Not telling them that they were wrong for supporting Trump, wrong for voting for Trump, and so we need to reprogram you. That's not the solution. It's about getting as many people out of the narrative machine, get as many people above the noise, and help as many people see for themselves the truth, the reality of it. That this is about people who have an agenda, people who are looking to personally benefit themselves at the expense of all of us. The more divided we become, the better for them. That's the reprogramming that a lot of people in this society need, not just Trump supporters.